What is going on, Movie Meals? Movie Meals. I said to Kyle, should I get one of my samurai swords down for the thumbnail? He said yes, but now I don't want to put it back. But I guess we'll put it here because, I'll start playing around, and then the next thing you know, I've lost a finger. We're here for the Snake Eyes review. Kyle and I got a chance to see it this weekend. But before we get into it, thank you to Steve, Kimberly, and Karen and the Movie Meal patrons. If you want to be a member of the Patreon, go be a member of the Patreon. It's all linked in the description. Get some merch. I got the I Miss the Movie shirt on right now. Comfortable stuff. It's all linked in the description. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, share, start conversations. Please subscribe, share us around, guys. It would mean a lot. All right, let's get into it. So this movie, Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe, prequel, I guess, not related to the other two. We're not sure yet. No one knows.
Doesn't seem like it.
You say that until Dwayne Johnson's like, I'll come back, and they're like, we'll make it work. Or Mr. Channing Tatum, or Bruce Willis, the original Joe,
oh boy.
Anyway, movie got panned by critics, so let's find out if Kyle agrees. Kyle, what were your positives? No negatives, your positives of the movie.
Well, contrary to most critics are saying, I kind of liked it. I mean, by no means is it a good movie. Like, it definitely has its flaws to it. But I think within the flaws, I just had moments where the movie was good and had potential. And within that, I was able to like the movie quite a bit. Mainly, I was able to like it so much was because of Henry Golding and Andrew Koji. Henry Golding obviously plays Snake Eyes, and Andrew Koji plays the character Tommy. And I think some people might know who what his alter ego is, but I won't give that away. But those two.
There was a dad sitting directly behind me who kept saying who his character was throughout the whole movie. He kept leaning over to his 4 boys he had with him, and he was like, that's this guy. And everyone was like, shut up, dude. But anyway, continue.
Well, I won't give it away on like what the dad did, or maybe it doesn't even matter. But those two actors, they were really good off of one another. They were elevating the material so much to where I was able to see like potential within like the story arc that they were going with those two characters, and I was really digging it. Again, the material, we'll get into the negatives, not that great, but those two really elevated it for me. And I thought the supporting cast as well like did all that they could for it, although I was disappointed by the usage of Samara Weaving and the actor from Raid. I believe his name is Iko Uwais. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but those two, they're good but underutilized, and it's a shame. And when it came to some of the other elements within this movie, the only positives I got were the choreography within the action. We'll get into how the action was filmed in my negatives, but I think when it comes to the choreography, again, it was similar to how I saw the story and the characters playing out, to where I was seeing potential and there being some good stuff within this movie. But I get what the critics mean by this, but for whatever reason, to my surprise, I was actually able to get into this movie a lot more than I thought it would.
I had a solid time. I didn't love it, didn't hate it. It felt like the last 2 G.I. Joes to me, but the biggest difference was that Harry Golding is an absolute superstar of a talent, and he lifted some poor material and made it good. I also think that with Andrew, how do you say his last name? Koji?
I think so. Yeah.
So he's on the HBO show Warrior, which is being praised as the next biggest show that people are not paying attention to. I watched the first 3 episodes and then I can't remember, but a new show came out, so I started binging it. So I put on the back burner, but the first 3 episodes I was enthralled with. I loved what I was watching, and he was awesome in it, and I'm going to pick it back up. It's just been put on the back burner. But
nice.
He was great in this. I loved the dynamic the two of them had. Some of the supporting cast was a bit underutilized, but I thought had some really great moments. Some of the fighting I thought was excellent. Some of the kung fu fighting was awesome. Especially some of the stuff with the katanas. There's a scene, it's been in the trailers, where one of the masters is like, he's like punching a dude like 80,000 times and it's pushing him into other people. That was my favorite shot of the whole movie. I loved it so much. because I'm a sucker for a good kung fu fight movie. So I really like that. Some of the action is really really good, and th- this movie it had what's her name? It's like Samara Weave? Is that
Yeah,
what it is?
Samara Weaving.
From
Yeah.
from Ready or Not. She's
Yep.
clearly being set up to be put in a G.I. Joe reboot movie or join
Yeah.
for another Snake Eyes movie. But holy cow, do I love her so much from Ready or Not. So I am so down if they let her be the lead for a G.I. Joe movie. Just hopefully it's good.
Hmm.
But I really liked it. If they're gonna do a sequel to Snake Eyes, I'm all for it. I thought the reveal of who he is and everything was really awesome. I think they to me bring in like Travis Knight, who did Bumblebee, like bring in somebody like that and make like a really hard, not the guy who made R.I.P.D. because he's a fine
Yeah.
director, but he hasn't made a lot of
He's not a
like
fine director.
deep storytelling movies.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
but
going to come
I
into my negatives. Yeah.
bring somebody in that has a little bit more, that can get a little more out of your actors. But let's
Hmm.
get into those negatives, sir.
Yeah. Studios need to pay attention to who they're hiring. Um, and this is a good example of that. Like I was saying, the script is weak and there is action that suffers from poor editing and from shaky cam. That stuff needs to stop. And when you get a director who doesn't have the right credentials to, film good action or to elevate, you know, some poorly written material, your movie is not going to work. And I think this is a good case of it. You can't be hiring the director of RIPD. Studios need to be paying more attention. I don't care what kind
And
of pitch they
three
do. If
Divergent movies.
exactly, if you have to pay attention to the credentials. I don't care what their pitch is, how good it sounds, or if he's even cheaper than what you'd like to do. If you want to make an action spectacle movie to set up a new franchise, especially GI Joe, who no one is asking for, studios need to do better because audiences are thinking that you're going to deliver them some really good stuff and deliver them some new franchises that they want to go to theaters for. But if you're going to be slacking on, finding the right director to helm the whole project, and there was cool stuff within this project. Like I said, I liked it more than I thought I would. But studios need to pay better attention and do better when it comes to slacking on stuff like action and filming action. Like I said, choreography was good within this movie, but it suffered from bad editing and bad filming of the action as a whole. And also, like I said, the script is on the weaker side. It had its potential, it had its moments, and I think I saw that through like the acting because there are some good actors in this movie. But yeah, but the weaker script, people can recognize a weaker script no matter what type of movie fan they are, and I think it's going to cause this movie to suffer.
Um, yeah, I actually didn't necessarily hate the script. I don't think it was the biggest problem. I mean, it's a problem, but like they try to do some twists in it that I
Right.
actually thought worked. I liked
Yeah,
that. I thought the biggest
me
part was
too.
the camera work, especially at the beginning. It was
Hmm.
so hard to follow. I mean, it was what's going on? There's a lot of action. We're going to submerge you in this world. And it's like, no,
Hmm.
calm down. I've seen
They
the
calm down a
rain.
little, but
It does smooth
it
out a
needs to
bit,
stop. It
but
needs to stop regardless.
shaky cam can be used well when it's utilized well, but when you make your whole movie shaky cam, it doesn't immerse us. It makes us woozy and we're not
Yeah.
looking at the action. I did think to myself, I was like, what would make this movie really good? I was sitting there and I was like, if they just went R and they got rid of the shaky cam, people would forgive the script because it would get bloody, it would get violent, and it would be awesome. Like make a
That's a
John
good
Wick's G.I. Joe Snake Eyes movie. You kidding me? That would be awesome. I'd be all
I
for it.
yeah, yeah, I don't think it necessarily needs to be R. Like it's
No, but
fine
it
as a
would have been
PG-13
cool.
movie, but PG-13 movies need to be allowed to have a little bit more blood. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I think stuff can be scary to a certain degree, but I think for a PG-13 movie, it's fine to push it just a little bit more. So when we have stuff like swords and, punching one another, let's have a little bit more blood and not just like
Yeah.
a bruise that
Well,
goes
the
away.
reason I thought about that is because it's actually a pretty violent movie. They're showing a lot,
Yeah.
but they're doing it so fast in the editing and they're doing it so shaky cam to get away with it. That's why they're doing
Hmm.
it because it was their kind of way of, getting away with being really intense and dark without actually being really intense and dark by having bad camera work, but
without
it
getting the
just
R
doesn't
rating.
hit well. I'm serious. Like a guy like I was sitting there thinking like, man, this could have been the Bumblebee for what you need for G.I. Joe. Honestly, it's
Hmm.
probably the best of the 3 movies we've had so far. In my
Probably.
opinion, I think I liked it the most. It's been a while since I've
Hmm.
rewatched the first 2. I didn't grow up a G.I. Joe kid. It was really, it was more of a later thing than our generation, but I respect and I like the idea and the story. I think it's a cool story, this anti-terrorist group with these heroes that are, basically in the shadows trying to get it done. I've always liked Snake Eyes is always the coolest character in those movies and show back in the day. And so I
Yeah,
liked
sure.
this. I would be all down for a guy like Travis Knight to come in, somebody who, made a Bumblebee, because I was sitting there thinking this could have been Bumblebee. Bring in Travis Knight, bring in a director like that, a director who's got, you don't want to hire a director who can't put up the director of this. You don't see that in any of these trailers because he's not bragging. I mean, he's made 1 movie I like. Well, 2, I
Red.
guess, because I didn't mind this movie. I liked it, but I really like Red. I thought,
Hmm.
Red's a fun movie, but the rest is bad. So go get somebody who's got a little bit more weight behind their name and a little
Hmm.
bit more of an understanding of directing. And I'd be all for a sequel if you brought in the right director and didn't make it another G.I. Joe movie. Bring a Joe in, but I would love to just see Snake Eyes going after who he's going after in the next movie. And I think that would be a lot more fun. But the movie does suffer from just some poor directing.
Directing. Yeah.
No, never mind. I won't say it. Anyway, I think that's good for now. We'll wrap the show up. Guys, what
Yeah.
did you think if you saw Snake Eyes? Are you a big G.I. Joe fan or you're not a big G.I. Joe fan? Please let us know. Comment down below. Thank you to Movie Meal patrons. Guys, go get some Movie Meals merch. I got the poster up on the wall back there too. Go get some Movie Meals merch. And as always, thanks for watching, Mom.
See you guys.